Armored Core 6 is a Souls game in disguise. At least that's what I'm going to argue, even though FromSoftware keeps insisting it's not a Souls game. But before you run to the comments to tell me how wrong I am going to be using their interviews, their commentary, the gameplay, the PlayStation blog. This requires a bit of a history lesson. Many people might not realize this, but Armored Core actually predates all of the Souls games, and that's going to be part of my argument. I will be saying that ultimately it's not a Souls game, but it is a Souls game in disguise. So let me make my case. We've got great gameplay info, lots of details, things to come over. We've got interviews. The trailer that they released is absolutely insane, and I put all the good information right here at the beginning so you don't have to go looking for it. It is a live stream. That's why the video is so long. I discuss this with a live audience, so hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss out. FromSoftware really wants you to know that Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game. I actually think that it is more of a Souls game, and they're in a bit of denial about this. Not that they're being dishonest, but I do think that Armored Core 6 is a Souls game in disguise. And I need to walk through a history lesson about FromSoftware games to make my case. But I also want to look at all of the great new gameplay details to draw both the differences and the similarities between Armored Core 6 and Souls games. I want to walk through, first, a history lesson, because a lot of people might not realize which game came first, but then I want to point out the similarities. I do think there will be similarities between Armored Core 6 and Souls games, just from the interviews and the PlayStation blog that we have right now. I also want to talk about the differences, because there are plenty of differences. Yes, Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game, but it kind of is. Lastly, I want to talk about my tentative interest in light of my history with FromSoftware games. So first, let's just do a very brief history lesson so I can build my case. It is a very important thing to point out that FromSoftware fans already know this, but a lot of people might not know this. They might not be aware of this fact. The original Armored Core game came out in 1997, and Demon's Souls would not hit the PlayStation 3 until 2009. So we're talking about a game that predates the Souls games. You have to consider that this is sort of a chicken and the egg scenario. Some of the DNA of the Armored Core game is unavoidably baked in to the Souls games that have come out since then. This means it's all coming full circle. And the reason I think this is important is for two reasons. Number one, it's good to set the stage and let big-time Souls fans know that Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game. But equally important, folks who think Souls games are too hard, or they don't like learning through failing, they don't like learning through dying, they should not misunderstand what FromSoftware is saying. When they say that this is not a Souls game, they're not saying it's going to be easy. And they are certainly not saying that it won't be hard. That would not be a FromSoftware game. So essentially what I'm saying is that Armored Core likely influenced the DNA and the combat philosophy of the Souls games. So Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game, but it is, in a sense. The DNA, the combat philosophy, will be undoubtedly Souls-esque because it is a FromSoftware game, but there'll be elements that will feel like those beneath all the differences, because there's going to be significant differences between this and the games that you can play right now within the Dark Souls franchise. So first, let's just talk about the similarities, because I do think people might not know there are actually quite a lot of similarities between Armored Core 6 and Souls games within the FromSoftware catalog. In an interview with Eurogamer, producer Yasunori Agura said, quote, "We don't want it to feel out of place. We've taken various strides to make sure it fits not only our own game design philosophy, but will feel like a brand new modern action game in the mech genre." So at some level, this is going to fit into the design philosophy of FromSoftware. So I want to look at combat, boss fights, and difficulty, because I do think these are areas where you're going to find similarities. So, combat. In the same Eurogamer interview, the author said the following: "I'm told that combat in this game will be fast, dynamic, and tactical, with multiple approaches to success. It rewards careful, yet aggressive play." This doesn't really surprise me, given the game's director. So if you're familiar with Masaru Yamamura, who was the lead designer of Sekiro, it shouldn't surprise you that this game is going to be fast and aggressive, because Sekiro is exactly that. It's a very, very tough game. It's probably my favorite FromSoftware game, actually, over Elden Ring, which is kind of surprising. Sekiro is, in some ways, a big departure from the Souls format, but in other ways, it really retains the Souls game DNA. And with Yamamura directing, that will likely be the case with Armored Core 6. In fact, Yamamura basically admits this with this quote, "While the base format of the Armored Core games and Armored Core 6 is very different from that of the Souls series in games like Sekiro, we have tried to incorporate some of that design philosophy and our experience over the last several years. So, the combat will have design philosophy and influence and similarities to Souls and Sekiro." That's what this guy is saying. "Like a familiar flavor baked into something, you'll be able to tell that it's there, even if it's not on the surface." So, that's combat. I think you're going to be able to sense that underneath. You're not going to be playing a Souls game, but you kind of are. The PlayStation blog had this to say about boss fights. So let's move on from combat to boss fights. "And in grand FromSoftware tradition, it may take several attempts and some experimentation with your AC's equipment to fully learn and adapt to a boss's quirks. This is something that non-Souls fans should really hear loud and clear, okay? This is where what Yamamura said, I think, is coming to the surface. That design philosophy is underneath. You're not just going to go in, fight a boss in 1 or 2 tries. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail a lot. Success is going to require memorizing what the boss is doing, attack patterns, rhythm changes. They talked about that in the PlayStation blog as well. They're going to be trying to keep you on your toes. It's going to be tough. Lastly, with reference to difficulty, as I was just saying, Yamamura expanded on the design philosophy in the Eurogamer interview. He said, "I'd say some of that is definitely present in the aggressiveness of combat in Armored Core 6. We wanted to make something that was very visceral, very aggressive, and has a very clear and distinct rhythm of tempo to the combat. So, full disclaimer, do not expect this game to let up. Don't expect it to be easy or super accessible. It will be hard, and you will fail a lot. Now let's talk about the differences." So those are all the similarities, all right? Underneath the surface, this game has the Souls DNA, all right? And a lot of that's coming full circle because a lot of the Souls DNA was likely influenced by Armored Core. But let's talk about the differences because they're pretty significant. The first and most obvious difference is that you're a mech, okay? You're not somebody walking around with a sword and a shield and armor, okay? Within being a mech, there's going to be pretty big differences. First, the movement. Some of the gameplay I've been showing, you're going to notice that. I think this was one of the most surprising things from the trailer. Very fast, very responsive, incredibly fluid for a mech game. I think oftentimes mech games might be associated with slower or clunky movement. You're a big machine after all, right? This is certainly not the case with Armored Core 6. Your movement is going to be incredibly fast. That's not something that you're going to find in a lot of the Souls games. Even as fast as Sekiro is, you're not necessarily zipping around and flying around very, very quickly. There's some things that you do that are fast, but it's not really defined by the player being quick. In Armored Core 6, you can tell from these trailers, this game is going to be quick. Next up, combat. At one level, yes, the design philosophy underneath the combat, we've already established it's going to be Souls in spirit. But the movement, the weapons, the attacks, and the customization separates this in a big way from Souls games. Here's a great paragraph from the Sony blog about that. You play an augmented mercenary piloting a huge customizable mech, yet while the pace and structure of mech piloting action fundamentally differ from other games in the studio's catalog, players can rest assured that the smooth, responsive controls they're come to expect from FromSoftware games is still here, just in a different context. This is essentially what I have been talking about. You can take the FromSoftware and their catalog, and you can't take that out of the game. It's gonna be there. You're gonna feel that sense of, yep, I know who made this game. This is definitely a FromSoftware game. Then they outline customization. Quote, customization is a key part of the Armored Core experience. You have access to an assortment of parts to upgrade and fine-tune the power of your AC. 4 slots for holding weaponry, 1 in each hand and 2 on the back. It gives you a lot of space to experiment with custom loadouts. What kind of weapons are we talking about? Bazookas, Gatling guns, split missiles, plasma rifles, and all the perennial favorites. There are a bunch of new close-range weapons too. So clearly, as I'm listing all of those weapons, those are huge differences and departures from when you're playing more of the medieval context in the FromSoftware games up to now, or even like a context where you're a samurai. We're dealing with, sci-fi. We're dealing with like militaristic style weapons. And it wouldn't be a FromSoftware game if there weren't melee weapons. Quote, one aspect we focused on in Armored Core 6 is melee weapons, exclusively equipped to the left hand. These can include a cluster bomb thrower, a chainsaw or pulse blade, lances, and other more idiosyncratic weapons. Since the main weapons are firearms, the melee weapons are more focused on that strength of individuality. So clearly you can see there, if the main weapons are firearms, it's not going to be as melee driven as you might be accustomed to in Souls games up to now. So this is a big departure. This is one of the big differences. This is why they're trying to tell people this is not a Souls game. They want Souls fans to know that. Some of the best info, I think, comes in the way that they describe abilities in the game. And this is where I got very intrigued about how this is going to look. They talk about Assault Boost. And Assault Boost, quote, is one of the biggest new features in Armored Core 6 is an instantaneous switch between long-range gunfighting and close-range melee, thanks to a button-activated movement skill called the Assault Boost. This, to me, will make this game stand apart at a technical but as well as an experiential level. Having a fast and fluid mech game is one thing, but creating a juxtaposition between long and close range that's switchable and instantaneous, I think that's really going to be impactful and fun, but it'll also be a fresh and new gameplay experience that really doesn't exist in another game. That's why I think this aspect, Assault Boost, will make this game stand apart. Listen to how Yamamura explains it. Quote, Assault Boost is an offensive action that helps close the gap between enemies, and it lets you quickly go from long distance to close range. But it's not just about closing gaps quickly. It's also about chaining abilities while you're fighting. Quote, it also provides some incredible chain abilities when fighting, as he describes vividly. Say you activate Assault Boost to make your approach while using machine gun fire and a missile salvo to stagger the enemy. Then use your pulse blade to score a direct melee hit once you're up close. I don't know how you hear that and not get excited. That sounds awesome to me. To weave those types of very different attacks together sounds incredible. And this is not the only thing that they added. So Assault Boost has been added, but the next function actually excited me after I did my no summons run in Elden Ring. I really focused on posture breaking. I was using guard counter, and I was using square off. And one of my favorite things to do was to break a boss's posture, especially when people were like, this is not the way to fight this boss. And I would just refuse, and I was stubborn, and I did it that way anyway. It was very satisfying. They talk about something called stagger. Quote, stagger, another addition to the series combat, is this element where if an AC takes too many hits over a short period of time, its attitude control system will be overloaded, making it vulnerable for a short time. Both continuous hits and big powerful strikes will cause stagger damage, encouraging you to keep the pressure on the opponent. The damage inflicted to an enemy's stagger gauge varies from weapon to weapon. It can also be affected by factors like distance, adding additional strategy in equipping and using these armaments in combat. So it's very clear this is sort of an import from Sekiro and even Elden Ring. It honestly sounds a little bit more similar to how it worked in Elden Ring. I don't know if there's going to be a stagger bar because you kind of have that posture bar in Sekiro. It may end up being a hidden thing because in Elden Ring it was sort of a hidden thing. You could sort of sense that their posture bar, stagger bar, whatever, refilled if you didn't keep attacking them. That was one of the things that I really liked about it, is it created a sense of urgency. You kind of had to stay on top of the boss. You couldn't really let him breathe, and every fight felt a little bit different because some bosses responded to your aggression differently than others. Either way, it sounds nice. I'm very excited to see they have that element even in a game with big giant mechs. One more aspect of combat that's going to be different than Souls games, but it'll also be a little bit similar, is boss fights. From the Sony blog, the series' big boss encounters are back, and the metal monstrosities you'll encounter look bigger and more intimidating than ever. Quote, "There will be a rich variety of powerful enemies, all shapes and sizes," says Yamamura. "Huge combat helicopters, heavily armored mobile turrets, and unmanned heavy demolition machinery that's programmed to indiscriminately crush intruders. Armored Core 6 will offer a number of explosive battle experiences that challenge players to fight against the odds and overcome these ginormous, more abnormal mechs." So my takeaway from this and the footage is that the bosses are going to be huge. The arenas, the landscapes, they're massive. I'm kind of surprised this game's going to run on old gen because it seems enormous. The last way that this game is really set apart is the setting. And I can't help but point out there is a spiritual similarity while also being vastly different. From the Sony blog, Armored Core 6 is a new story that takes place on the planet Rubicon, where a powerful energy source called coral has been discovered. But this is not the stuff that looks pretty in aquariums. Coral is extremely volatile, and it's already caused a massive disaster that nearly turned all of Rubicon to ash many years prior. But those futuristic megacorps just can't resist the siren song of coral and continue to war for it to this day. FromSoftware can't help but make a place that's on the brink of destruction or has already been massively damaged and destroyed. It's just they love it. So in a spiritual sense, even this planet of Rubicon is very much like the places that we've grown accustomed to in FromSoftware games. They're in a terrible state and everything has been destroyed or is going to be destroyed. So, but very different. Obviously, this is more sci-fi. This is more outer space rather than sort of gothic medieval or samurai setting, right? Like in feudal Japan. So, you know, why is all of this leading to my tentative interest? I have a very strange relationship with FromSoftware games. Dark Souls 3 had some really great fights and moments. It was basically my doorway in to FromSoftware games. And Sekiro and I have a love-hate relationship. Beating that game, that final fight with Ishin, it was honestly, I think, a spiritual and psychological experience for me. It was very meaningful to push through. It took me 5 hours. Most of the bosses up to that point in Sekiro took me no less than an hour, usually an hour or less to beat. I had gotten into a pretty good rhythm with that game. I actually think it's my favorite out of the bunch. To this point, I think that's a game that I really would love to replay now that I kind of know I've been through the fires, right? I've been through the trials. And Elden Ring is in another strange spot for me. The front half of Elden Ring, I think, is open world exploration perfection. But to this day, I feel like the back half, especially after the fire giant himself, is sort of a doorway into the second half that I just don't enjoy. I know people disagree, and that's just where I landed with it, okay? So when I hear all of these elements of Armored Core 6, there's action elements, fluidity, difficulty, and just the style, the scope, and how massive this game seems to be, I really want to give it a try. But I'll admit, I find the game daunting with respect to customizations. Oftentimes, customization in games can make my head spin, and the difficulty can certainly tilt me sideways. I have a short fuse. That's just my personality. But I will certainly give Armored Core 6 a try. The only lingering concern I have now is, how will this run on old gen? PlayStation 4, Xbox One, these are old systems, and this game seems huge. It could, I think, be a great test case, though, for old-gen consoles versus the Series S. That's something I've been consistently talking about, and this will be, I think, a fun test case and potentially a fun discussion. For now, I'm thrilled to see FromSoftware drop another great game, and in very short order. Even as a mid-level FromSoftware fan, August 25th can't come fast enough. And let me give you my thoughts and my conclusions. Armored Core 6 looks absolutely jaw-dropping and stunning. It'll likely not have the commercial pull and the success of Elden Ring, but it does stand to do something similar that Elden Ring did, and that's bring in non-Souls players and non-FromSoftware fans. So their insistence that this is not a Souls game should be seen for what it is. It's a disclaimer to Souls players. It's not necessarily an invitation to those who don't enjoy Souls games. As I said, the Souls game DNA and the design philosophy, it's baked into this game. It's underneath the surface. So if you don't like Souls games, I don't think you should hear them saying that and think, well, I'll be right at home in Armored Core. I highly doubt that. The second thing I want to say is my interest in this game is something that many other gamers might feel. Armored Core 6 truly looks like a unique game, but also a great addition to an existing franchise. Many devs find that to be challenging. How do you add to your existing franchise and innovate and really explore making the game better? But the interviews convinced me that FromSoftware knew how to bring this game forward, and it looks impressive. Conclusion: Armored Core 6 will be, as far as I can tell, a Souls game in spirit, largely because this is the granddaddy of FromSoftware games. But I also think it's important to say that this game is not a Souls game, mainly because in my experience, Souls fans are very unique. That's the nicest way I can put it, and they likely will approach this game in their own way. So, is Armored Core 6 a Souls game? Well, from where I sit, as the title and the thumbnail says, this is a Souls game in disguise, and that should be exciting to any gamer interested in playing it, but it should also be a cautionary tale. And that is the show open. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate such a strong turnout. This is a little bit of a different show for me because we haven't done much with FromSoftware games in a long time. We put a lot of investment and a lot of time into Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and then Elden Ring, and we kind of had to step away from something we called From Fridays and me playing FromSoftware games. So make sure you guys have smashed the like button. That will really, really help this video. Let's get to 200 likes as quickly as we can. We already have 171, so 200 likes is right around the corner. We already have a bunch of members. We already have 31 members, virtually all from the man himself in chat, Casual Grinder. So thank you so much, Casual Grinder, for doing that. That's unbelievable. So I already owe you 5 members. A bunch of people ordered coffee yesterday. Don't forget, we have the Light Me Up and Frick Me Up. Those codes will give you a buy 2, get 1 free. Use those codes at reforgeroast.com. Help us move through the last bastion of the holiday blend as well as the light roast. Claymore's with a $6 tip through Super Chat. I heard FromSoftware is striving to make the best Armored Core they've ever striven for. This is my favorite part of the trailer right here. Look at this. Watch this part. Watch this. Look at that. The size of this game, bro. Insane. Absolutely insane. Just crazy. By the way, quick reminder to all of you who are members, this afternoon is the VIP Unfiltered Debrief. Everything else is for everybody, but this is just for VIPs. Consider upgrading. We have 223 VIPs now. Amazing. Keep upgrading. That's phenomenal. Tonight's for everybody. Jackbox is for everybody. It's community game night for all members, and tomorrow night is the Star Wars watch party. Make sure you're here. Make sure you're in the Discord so you don't miss out on those fun activities. VIPs will get the code for Jackbox first. That's another advantage of being a VIP, so thank you guys so much for all the support. That says 9 p.m. Eastern. If we might have a rain out tonight, and then we'll start a little bit earlier. So great reason again to be in the Discord. Wheezy says, hard to answer, made me want to unlive. What's the question from that he's saying that? Typhoon. What did Typhoon say? Soon as they show the HUD UI, you'll forget what you know about FromSoft. For answer was rough. I'm not sure what you're saying. A big mech is expected to be if anyone played the other Armored Core games. Yo, Immortal Turtle coming back in as a VIP. Thank you so much for doing that, Immortal Turtle. You the best. We have so many VIPs right now. Don't miss the debrief, guys. It's epic, says Ant. Mike S. says, it doesn't need to hit the Souls-like gameplay, I guess. The market will be oversaturated with clones this year. The reason I wanted to do this episode, okay, is because you cannot read what Yamamura is saying. You cannot read these blogs and be like, it's not a Souls game. Listen, it's not a Souls game. But it is a Souls game. Like, don't get it twisted. You have to remember that when people say Souls games, they might mean completely different things. Did you understand what I'm saying? The design philosophy underneath this game, it's Souls. Do you want to know why? Because Armored Core came first. Armored Core came before the Souls games. So the DNA, the combat philosophy, the game design philosophy that FromSoftware has developed over the years, it all links back to Armored Core. So you can't be like, oh, it's not a Souls game. Well, oh, yeah, sure, it's not a Souls game. You're right. But it is a Souls game. Like, you don't want to say, oh, it's not a Souls game, and then you're going to have all these people being like, oh, yay, I can go play this action mech game. Whoa, slow down, bro. No. You got to understand what you're signing up for. Yamamura even said in an interview that the design philosophy from the company and their catalog is present in this game. It's coming full circle. It's chicken and the egg, right? Armored Core comes first, then all the Souls games, then Armored Core 6. You can't unbake that cake. It's not that clean to just be like, nope, it's not a Souls game, end of discussion. There's a lot more nuance to this than that. If you just hand wave and say that, you're going to have a lot of people thinking, oh, I'm going to go play that game. That game looks awesome. This game will crush you to dust, bro. The guy who made Sekiro is in charge of this game. Come on. That's exactly right, Chase Irons. Souls games are basically Armored Core games. That's what it is. A 20 spot from Dodevas. Been waiting for this one for a long time. Got into Armored Core on the Xbox 360 with AC4 and AC4 Answer. Great coverage, Lono. Thanks. Oh, one of the ACs is called For Answer. Thank you so much for that $20 super chat tip. Thank you guys so much for a strong turnout today. Make sure you're pressing that like button. We need those first 200 likes, man. That really helps us out. You guys are almost there. You guys don't like very tough games, you better watch the reviews for this one before you buy it. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It can be, both things can be true. It's not a Souls game, but it's a Souls game. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be cheeky. I read 3 different blogs, 3 different interviews, 3 different articles, and I was like, yeah, man, you're kind of describing it like it's a Souls game, bro. Like, you're kind of saying it's not. The one article was brilliantly written. It was like FromSoftware insists that it's not a Souls game, and yet they use all this Souls terminology. Like, they can't avoid it. I know you're using Souls game as a colloquialism right now, but AC games and Souls games are very different. That's exactly why in my show open, Lewis, I spent more time talking about the differences, right? I talked about their similarities. There's going to be similarities between this game and Souls games. There's going to be similarities between this game and Sekiro. But then I walked through all the differences. I was like, it's going to be very, very different, but you have to understand what you're stepping into. You're stepping out onto a landscape that will still literally break your teeth and not even tell you where the dentist is. Like, it's going to be really tough. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. I forgot to mention that. This is a mission-based game. That's another big difference between this game and FromSoftware games up to now. Very mission-based. Right? It's not going to be like some open world game. It's not going to be some mysterious game where you're like, where do I go next? It's going to be mission based. You're going to go out and go on a mission. And that's going to be another way that it sort of departs from the more traditional Souls game format. Lono, Souls game difficulty doesn't compare to the hell of Armored Core. People actually give up playing Armored Core. You're killing me with, it is, but it isn't. Somebody said this morning it's a Schrodinger's Souls game. And I'm like, that's exactly right. It both is and is not. Think of it like this. A lot of the times when someone says Souls game, What they're basically saying is they're saying FromSoftware game. Does that make sense? When they say Souls game, they mean FromSoftware game. And if somebody reads a headline, Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game, and they're like, oh, that's not going to be like a FromSoftware game. I'm going to go play that. You're going to get Lucille'd. Like, Negan's just going to crack your head open. But if you hear it's not a Souls game, and you're like a big FromSoftware fan and you love Armored Core, you're going to be just fine. I mainly think the reason they're saying it's not a Souls game is for fans of Souls games. It's not for the public at large, because the public at large doesn't know what that means. Your argument makes sense, but your title is way too clickbaity. Get the frick over it or get out. What's Solon saying? Just because it's not a Souls game, don't let that fool you into thinking it's more accessible and not as hard. You would be wrong to think that. That's exactly what today's show is about. Listen, I'm doing you a favor if you clicked on this stream and you thought, oh, bro, I read Armored Core is not a Souls game. I can't wait to play it. Hold on there, Charlie. This game is a Souls game in spirit. It's not a Souls game in function, but it's a Souls game in spirit, brother. The design philosophy, the boss fights, the way that they're going to have rhythm changes and tempo changes in fights. You're going to have to, memorize what the boss is doing. Homie, that's Souls. That's Sekiro. Don't say that it's not. You're going to look dumb. Yo, Ant coming in with 20 months and it's a VIP. My man. Starfield is not a Skyrim game, but it kind of will be. Exactly. Starfield's not Skyrim, but it kind of is. Starfield's not Fallout, but it kind of is. That's the point. You have to give people that insight or they're going to make a big mistake. From what I know, AC is way more punishing than Souls. If there's not a difficulty slider, I'm out. Oh, there will not be a difficulty slider, homie. This is FromSoftware. Good to see you, Thrifty. Good to be on the show with you last night. Guys, be sure to check out Thrifty. Thrifty makes content. Super, super nice guy. Was on the show with him last night, man. You guys, if you guys missed it, I was on with King Salty. Check that out. Check him out. Saltiest Gaming is the name of the YouTube channel that I was on last night, but Thrifty's in chat. If it lets you click on his name, they removed that feature. For now, I can click on his name. You guys can't. Suede says, if you already mentioned but Souls game has multiple meanings to a lot of folks, it just means hard, like old Nintendo hard. To others, it's more of the systems and the mechanics. That said, the trailer looked great and I'm interested so far. Haven't played a good mech game in a long time. I do fear the customization will trigger my analysis paralysis bad. Oh, yeah. Yeah, games with lots of customization systems in depth, I just freeze up and I'm like, where do I go? Like, I don't know what to do. If you're terrible at customization, the game became literally unplayable. Yes, that's another thing that people need to realize. Souls games, this is another big departure. Souls games, a lot of them are based on stats. You're trying to push certain stats, and those stats allow you to do crazy things. There's some busted builds, right? Especially in Elden Ring, there's some busted builds. And that's all that's very largely stats-based. I didn't get that impression from Armored Core. Armored Core feels like it's more customization build-based, not like stat crunching based. Does that make sense? I feel like that's a difference that is hard to define, but it is a difference. Yo, Cal just upgraded to VIP. Let's go. I'm telling you, man, we got to think of something to do if we get to, what just happened? What's going on? Nightbot is like not letting me do anything on the back end. I was going to update the VIP command, but Nightbot is saying no to me right now. So I'm not sure what's going on. Let me just refresh the Nightbot dashboard. And I can't. Let me check my other websites. Okay, it's not my internet. It's just Nightbot's dashboard is jacked up. Techno says, after playing the earlier Armored Core games, it kind of feels like Doom Eternal on the harder modes, battle arenas, fast movement, and weapons counter specific enemies. That's good insight, Techno. I probably will still have a very hard time with this. Wheezy, do you think that they'll bring back the different rule sets? And Wheezy says 200%. Okay. They're not keeping it a buck. They're keeping it 2. You likely will have to manage something like energy consumption and weight. I'm super excited for the unfiltered debrief. It's been a heck of a week, so it'll be a good debrief. If you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for being here. 300 VIP, and Zubair gets a free Dark Roast for life. Maybe not for life, but if we hit the 300 VIPs, maybe I will send you one as a thank you for coming up with the idea. I greatly appreciate it. Listen, if you're just tuning in and you've never been here before, we cover all kind of different games, and I am essentially arguing that Armored Core 6 is a Souls game in disguise. It will not be a Souls game in function. You're a mech. The fighting's very different. But underneath the surface, it's still going to very much be a Souls game. Don't see headlines that this game isn't a Souls game and think that you're signing up to play some easy game. Yo, Julio just upgraded VIP to VIP. Thank you so much, Julio. That's going to take us to 220, I think 225. Yeah, I can't get Nightbot's dashboard to open. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see. I got logged out for some strange reason. It's making me log back in. They must be having either certification problems. Their authentication servers might be the issue. So I'm going to log back in here so I can see all of my stuff. There we go. Okay. So we have gotten 2 VIPs. We are at 225 VIPs thanks to the 2 people that just upgraded. Thank you so much. Yo, good morning, Infinite. Zubair alone is probably like 50% of the Dark Roast salsa. Are my glasses commands? Yeah, my glasses commands are wrong. So if you guys ever want to support me and you're in the market for some blue light blocking glasses, use the glasses command or the link below in the description and go to Gamer Advantage and use code Lono. That does support me. You can do the same thing if you go to 80s Tees. You can use code Lono. You'll get like 30% off over there at 80s Tees. So we're partnered with 80s Tees, glasses, and then obviously the coffee. The coffee's mine. That's not a sponsor. I've missed you, Lono. Hey, good to see you, local. I saw your comment last night. Not sure how long I was subbed to you on Purple, but I'm happy to be supporting you again. I've missed you, bro. Happy to see, despite everything, you're still here. Listen, man, a ton of people are finding me from that era. A ton of people are coming back and saying, hey, man, we got this wrong. We're sorry. Look, let everybody know. Let as many people as you know from that era be like, he's over here, man. You want to come back and hang out. We're always covering different topics every day, multiple talk shows sometimes every day. So thanks so much for being here. I'll vouch for the glasses being great. Thank you, Angry Pete. The energy management will probably turn off a bunch of new tries, but it is what it is. Why do you think that, Wheezy? What about energy management's going to turn people off? If you guys are interested in Armored Core 6 gameplay, there is really, really great shots in here. I was not expecting the game to look and feel like this. I don't know what I expected, to be quite honest, but I didn't expect it to be what they put in this trailer. I mean, it's fast. It's visceral. It's not what I expected. It just isn't. It looks like something that I'm going to love for 2 hours, maybe, and then I'm going to not be able to take it. You know what I'm saying? It looks impressive. It looks impressive. I loved how they described the assault boost, too. Like, just being able to go from long range to close range in the blink of an eye. That just sounds... it just sounds awesome. Look at this boss. I think that's like my favorite one. The big snaky guy that comes up from the bottom. Good morning. I'm going to miss the VIP stream because I can't upgrade. Okay, no worries, man. Lono's one of the few speaking facts. Thank you, Ariel. Lono's back. Tell a friend. That's right. You'll have to manage your ammo, repairs, weight, balance, energy management, and the right weapons and legs. Okay, so are you saying there are a lot of stats to manage? Is it going to be similar to Souls games in that regard? Wheezy says, because you balance incorrectly or you overbear, you essentially load into a mission and you can't do anything. It's frustrating, but that's the core of Armored Core, the customization. Haven't they spoken in recent interviews, though, about that, Wheezy? And haven't they essentially said that they've made the customization better this time around? I'm having a hard time remembering. They said customization is a central core to the gameplay. But I feel like they said they made it easier this time around. Maybe not. The smoke looks a bit old-fashioned to me. Anybody else noticing that? Well, keep in mind, This game's been in development for a while. It will run on old gen. So they are likely using, an engine that's more adaptable to older systems. They may be using particle and smoke effects that are not quite as, high fidelity. It's not really intended to be a high fidelity game. You can remember, we're talking FromSoft here. Their games are good looking in their own right, but they're not necessarily going to look like Burning Shores in Horizon Forbidden West. That's not their goal. This is not a next-gen game. Curious, if you upgrade to VIP at a later date, will I still be able to see the VOD? Yes, if you do an upgrade to VIP later, you can go back and watch the old content. If you're a brand new member now, you can go back and watch old members-only content, like my wife and I playing through The Quarry, or us playing through any of the scary games. That's all made available to you. Guys, I don't know if YouTube is having trouble. I feel like it is. I'm not having any trouble on my end. If you're having to refresh, that is not something that is on my end. We're running normal latency. I'm not having any hiccups, but I am seeing that it's looking like people are having to refresh. If that's the case, I am sorry about that. We've been having a very solid week without any of those issues happening, but it seems like it might be happening today. Yo, what's good, Cowboy? Off topic, but did you see my thumbnail with Doc and the death coming from Microsoft? Yes, it was. That was a work of art, Cowboy. Good work. Some of your best thumbnail work yet. Joe Deva says your leg type played into your weight. Bipedal mechs were quicker. Tank legs gave you more capacity, and quad legs were somewhere between the two. Got it. Solemn says they do let you soft lock yourself in missions based on the management. Like, you won't poorly optimize and still brute force through missions anyway all the time like other games. Oh, saying you won't be able to do that. All right, Wheezy's got something here. Build. Oh, this is from the Sony blog. Customization is a key part of the Armored Core experience. You have access to an assortment of parts to upgrade and fine-tune the power of your AC. 4 slots for holding weaponry. I read this during the show open. What kind of weapons are we talking about? Yeah, I read this during the show open. Yeah, so I read this as well. I already read that. I already knew about that. But that doesn't tell me that I can build myself into a corner and load in and can't go anywhere. That doesn't mean that it doesn't sound like they're trying to communicate what you're communicating. I'm not saying you're wrong, Wheezy. I'm just saying when I read that, that doesn't read like, oh, it's going to be really hard, and if you make a build mistake, you're screwed. That just sounds like a bunch of stuff that you can do with your character. Or are you saying, this is how it's always been, so yeah, you can screw yourself with the wrong build? Yo, what's good, Salty? Good to see you in the chat. That was a blast last night. Thank you for having me. The Quarry stream is some of my favorite content ever, says Zubair. This game won't be Souls-like at all, Lono. The game director said himself in an interview, the only thing as close to Souls-like is the bosses. I think you're completely incorrect. Yamamura literally said in a discussion that so much of the design philosophy from their catalog is in this game. This game will have Souls-like stuff baked into the crust. It's not avoidable. Like, it's not a Souls game, but it is a Souls game. Like, it's baked in. Like, I don't think you can avoid it. They've literally, you literally have the guy who made Sekiro in charge of the game doing interviews saying, the design philosophy from our catalog, it's here. It's in this game. You're going to feel it. Not just boss fights, just the philosophy in general. You can't get around it. Yeah, Jackboxes tonight for all members. Yes. 5 gifted members from JW, taking us to 36 members on the day. You don't have to wait for a gift, and you can jump in and help us hit this goal. Every 25 new members, I got to give 5, and the 5 members go to Bob Tower, Dawn, Dez, Hank, and Mantis. If you're a member, don't miss out on all the member festivities. This afternoon is for VIPs only. You can upgrade anytime you want. It's only $5 more to upgrade from a regular membership to VIP. Everything down here is for everybody. So tonight's community game night with Jackbox, and then tomorrow night's the Star Wars watch party. Make sure you're in the Discord. You're going to miss this stuff. YouTube's not the greatest at alerting you about members-only content. It's from the makers of Souls games. That's going to leave a mark. Have you been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine? That's going to leave a mark. Please tell me Creature's in a bad mood. I want to get my money's worth. There are festivities? I'm out. I don't think he's in a bad mood. We've had an amazing week. Like, everything we're doing. Mike S. says, recap. It isn't a Souls-like mech game. AC predates the Souls franchise, so it's basically the precursor. Souls games basically piggybacked by design from this OG franchise. Yo, Local! Local comes back, finds me from the old days when we streamed on Purple, and he gifts 5 members after becoming a member, and he goes to Monty Mole, Mine the Ancient, the Skull Bandit, Garnet, Ice Lady, and Dr. Blaze. Welcome on in. Welcome in as members. You guys are the best. I can't hit the like button for some reason. Guys, make sure you're hitting the like button for Salty. Yeah, YouTube's acting up. I can literally tell. I'm like, yeah, we had 420 people here, and then boom, we just all of a sudden fell. I was like, and then, you know, likes are acting funky too. I think YouTube's doing some more front-end stuff. Because they took away, we had some really cool updates to chat. Like, I could click on everybody's names, and all that stuff's gone now. So they might be trying to push out more updates again. Happy to support you again, bro. Thank you so much, Local. You can usually build yourself into a corner in these games, says Solemn. Like, you can definitely screw yourself and fail repeatedly. They let you hit brick walls. It's your own fault. JW says, I'm not done. And he gifts another 5 members, taking us to 46. And then Abe gifts 10. J. Chris gifts 10. What is freaking happening? That's 56. That's 66. That's 71. Another 5 from Cardoc Ren. And then Dylan. Dylan upgrades to VIP. What is happening? Let me burst that not in a bad mood bubble real quick. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have... Yeah, I didn't record anything for you last night. I didn't. That's tough, isn't it? I did too many podcasts this week. When you're on 3 podcasts, like, all my upload channels, they got, like, nothing. Creatures driving like, yo, where the F's all my videos? I'm like, sorry, bro, I did 3 podcasts in a week. I probably shouldn't have done that. But you gotta strike while the iron's hot, right? Everybody wants a piece of Lono all of a sudden. So, you know, I had to give him it. Yo, my man, Mike on to Mike. Getting in there and gifting a 5 bomb, taking us to 76, rolling it over to the next one. And then Catwalk's going to take us to 77 members on the day. So many members. And Tori upgrades to VIP, taking us to, I believe, that is 227 VIPs. Roger with 16 months of membership. Welcome back in to Reforge Gaming. Sven says, I feel like a lot of people are not understanding your definition of it. This is what I interpret when they say of it, it's not a Souls game. Let's start from square one. What's a Souls like? The developers I spoke to touched on the broad range of top-level elements, but not many of the specifics we might immediately associate with the genre. In other words, Souls-like is more about feeling than actual Souls, bonfires, and Estus. For example, Arthur DeCamp of Dead Cells studio Evil Empire argues that it's a mix of uncompromising action and deep mechanics that makes this genre special. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a Souls game, but it's a Souls game. You can't get away from that. You have to define it, right? So, sure, it's not a Souls game. It's not gothic, medieval, sword and shield, roly-poly combat. Okay? No open world, no shortcut discovery. Okay? It's mission-based. All right, cool. But it's a Souls game. Because when you look at Souls games, I agree with this guy from Dead Cells, Arthur DeCamp. It's not just about like, oh, there are souls and bonfires and Estus. No, it's like uncompromising action and deep mechanics that makes the genre special. That's what we've been told is every square inch of Armored Core. Every square inch of it. Like, yeah, uncompromising. It's really deep mechanics. Crazy difficult. Huge bosses. It's an Armored Core game. Right, but you're just being pedantic. Like, oh, it's an Armored Core game. Okay, sure. So Elden Ring's not a Souls game. It's Elden Ring, right? Sekiro's not a Souls game. It's Sekiro. Like, you're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Come on. When you have to understand that terms like Souls games, like as a gamer colloquialism, it's a liquid thing. It's not a rigid thing. You can say Souls game, and you could mean something completely different than me. Oh man, that game is... It's kind of a Souls game. It's kind of Souls-esque, you know? And what are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about Jedi Fallen Order. Oh. Jedi Survivor, man. It's kind of a Souls game. Is it a Souls game? Well, in some aspects, yeah. In other aspects, no. It depends on what you mean. Words have meaning depending upon the context when they're used. Wheezy says, there is no mission debt in Armored Core, but there is depreciating rewards from continually failing missions. So trade-off. It very much feels like they wanted to still have that failure, because if Armored Core is a big part of because in Armored Core, a big part of progressing. Got it. 19 months from Lone Wolf. Love you, Lono. Also, I'm pretty sure Armored Core predates Souls. That was literally a part of my argument this morning. Do you want to know why I can say it's a Souls game? Because Souls games are Armored Core games. Like I said, in order for me to establish my case, I had to do a bit of a history lesson. And the history lesson is Armored Core comes first. And the DNA and the philosophy in Armored Core is present in Souls games. It's all come full circle, baby. It's all come full circle. Chicken, egg, chicken, or egg, chicken, egg, like boom, boom, boom. One leads to the other, leads to the other, leads to the other. I'm not saying anything scandalous. They say it themselves in the interview. Yamamura says it in an interview. He's like, yeah, a lot of the design philosophy from our games up to now are present in this game. It's not as clean as, well, it's not a Souls game. Like, okay, sure. All right, that's fine. But it is. You weren't here at the start? Yeah, listen, where's the trust? Where's the trust? I did my work, okay? I went in and I said, all right, I'm gonna make my argument. I did a history lesson. I drew lines between all the similarities, and then I said, here's all the differences. Day one on a PSVR 2, like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yo, Drufus with 3 months of memberships. I really appreciate all you do. Your honest and concise reporting is a breath of fresh air compared to the opinions from other people who lie all day. Hey, man, I appreciate that very much. Come back in every day of the week. Let's get to the root. Armored Core games are Zelda games. Therefore, they are for children. You could just say it's a FromSoft game, but no one clicks on that title. Yeah, I'm trying to have a debate and a discussion, man. I gotta, like, throw something out there to be like, what was I gonna do? Armored Core 6, gameplay details. Who the frick cares about that? There's 8 other videos out there doing that. You want a video where somebody's giving you those details and reading through the blog? Listen, I used to do that, you know. That's fine. People didn't read the blog. They just hear you saying it's a Souls-like game in disguise. That's because it is. You're going to be surprised when it releases? What's going to surprise me? That they make good on everything they said in the interviews? Am I going to be surprised when Yamamura said that the design philosophy of Sekiro and Dark Souls will be present in this game, and you'll be able to play it, and you'll be able to sense that as you fight a boss and lose a bunch of times? As boss fights have rhythm and tempo changes that require you to memorize attack patterns and attack telegraphs and fail a bunch and lose and then have to go back and retry. Is that going to surprise me, or is that going to smell an awful lot like a Souls game? Huh? Come on now. Hey, you killed it on Salty and Braps podcast. Yo, thank you so much. Zlatan? Is it Zlatan or Z-Latin or Zlatan? I don't know how to say your name, man. I'm just going to call you Z. Yo, legend. Upgrading to VIP Another VIP, another one. We got a VIP unfiltered debrief at the end of every Friday. As long as we have 200 VIPs, I'm going to do it, and we're well past that now. We'll have to think of something for 300. Lono's not going to lie. Lono's clickbait game is high tier. I respect it. Solemn says, this game isn't going to feel or play like other Souls games, so those in chat that are new or even just generally excited fans of the franchise, you need to make yourself more informed for this purchase. That was literally what I wanted to do. It's like, listen, if you in here right now are a diehard FromSoftware fan, I'm going to be straight up with you. You're never, ever going to enjoy watching me play these games. Number two, if you're a FromSoftware fan, you don't need my help, okay? You know, puff your chest out a little bit. You don't need my help. You've read through everything. You know exactly where you're going when the game comes out. You know who you're going to go to for guides. You know who you're going to go to, who's going to help you play. You know all that. I'm not worried about you. You don't need me. I'm worried about everybody else reading the headlines. Armored Core? Armored Core is not a Souls game? And then they see these trailers and like, holy frick, the game's going to be awesome. Hang on a minute there, buckaroo. Come back here. It's a Souls game, bro. It will murder you and your family, and it will not say sorry. Like, it's going to be incredibly hard. It will literally have the spirit of Souls is in there, baked into the crust. If you don't like cayenne pepper, you ain't gonna like this game, because it's in there. Maybe not on top sprinkled, but it's down there deep in the crust. You can't see it, but it's there. Don't say that, Lono. We need you. You're cool. You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like, my target today was not like, oh, yeah, I gotta make sure and tell these FromSoft guys and set them straight. Zlatan, like a Swedish footballer, you pronounce it right the first time. Well, I don't know how I said it the first time. Zlatan. Even the AC trailer is talking about fire and cinders. Come on, it's total Souls game. I can see Reddit now. It needs an easy mode. Lono, they can come to you to see how different it is from other Souls games, and that will 100% help them see if they don't want to buy this game. I think it's a difference people need to see. I'm not your buckaroo guy. I'm not your guy, pal. Which you can do. Yeah, I mean, I think people will like watching me play it because listen, something you're going to get from me that you might not get from these other guys that like Cowboy, not Cowboy in chat, the other Cowboy, what's his name? Is his name Naked Cowboy? I always forget his name. Fighting Cowboy is his name, right? Who's the guy that does all the Souls games? Fighting Cowboy? Anyway, you can go to those guys and they're going to break it down. They're going to have every square inch of everything. I play like an average Joe. I just kind of go in and what? And like fail and get mad and get angry, right? Mooch struggle with my name too. Okay, I'm in good company. It's fighting, thank you. Fighting Cowboy, yeah. Like, you can watch Fighting Cowboy. You can watch these guys at speedrun. You can watch these guys that like naked level 1 retch run Elden Ring no hit. Like, that's not me. That's not me. You're going to come here and you're going to get average Joe casual gamer, right? It's Fighting Cowboy, but I'm the real cowboy. That's right. And back with another video. What was the name of the podcast you were on last night? I'll put it in the queue later. Saltiest Gaming. If you go to YouTube and you search for Saltiest Gaming, you will find the channel and the podcast. Yo, Rissick! Come on now, Rissick! 20 bomb! Just dropping a 20 gifted member bomb on a chat. This man, the gifters are going hard this week. They really, really are. Listen, there's a stretch goal. You guys got the Just Dance stream, okay? You got the Just Dance stream. There's a stretch goal, and I don't want to do it, but I got to check the member count, all right? If you get to 3,500, members, I gotta wear like an outfit. All right, like short shorts, headband. I gotta do some shopping. We are at 3260. You're 240 away from the stretch goal. That's how massive you guys have gone. 3,500 is the stretch goal, and you're 240 away from it. The frick are you doing? Lono without a beard? That's 4,000. All right. I set the beard goal really high. I don't shave my face lightly because I haven't done it since before I was married. Okay. Been married for 15, going on 16 years. Abe gifted 2. I think he's going to go for the 3-bang right now. Are you going for the 3-bang, Abe? He's done 2. He might just be putting us on the doorstep to be cheeky. 99. Nope, there it is. I could sense it. Boom. Hundo. Thank you, Abraham, for 100 member. And Ristic says, he says, F your cute little goal, man. 110. Next milestone is 125. You guys are crazy. Ristic with the 10 bomb. Just going massive. All you people that are getting new memberships, don't forget about the member events happening today and tomorrow. This afternoon is a VIP unfiltered debrief. Creature joins me, and we just bellyache about the week. Actually, this week was amazing. But you got to upgrade if you want to listen to the VIP thing, okay? These 2 things here are for everybody. Tonight is community game night, Jackbox. All you need is a phone, tablet, or computer that can get on the internet. You just need a web browser. And the Star Wars Watch Party, you just need to be able to watch episode 4 alongside my wife and I. You can't, like, watch it through my stream. That's illegal. But you watch it alongside of us. It's hilarious. You can watch the older watch parties as well. We've done episodes 1, 2, and 3. You queue up your movie. I tell you when to push play. It's hilarious. It's like Mystery Science Theater, kind of, right? It's more like Riff Tracks if you're familiar with that. So this is everything available to you. Get in the Discord, okay? You're going to miss out on that stuff if you're not in the Discord because YouTube's not really fantastic about pinging you, all right? Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the insane amount of gifted memberships that just keep rolling in. Thank you for a strong... Well, actually, this is a lighter turnout for us. I wasn't sure. Star Wars did great yesterday. Today we're... You guys, I have to schedule the next stream. I bet you the next stream we have, but maybe we get a little bit of a stronger turnout for the next stream, because the next stream is about the future of Xbox. So I'm sure we'll get some more people in for that one. Armored Core might be a little bit more narrow, but don't worry. I kept the good show. I kept maybe I should say the bigger show saved for second, all right? I was just kind of saving this for a second, right? Link to Discord command, and there's always links in the description below. Thank you, Abe. All right, hang on. I got to grab my images. The future of Xbox. Discussion. Activision deal. I'm going to save that. I got to save this one. That's a live thumb. We are going to be discussing the future of Xbox. We'll be doing that in a little bit, so don't bail on this stream just yet. All right? This stream still has plenty of legs left, still plenty of things left to talk about. Where is the Phil Spencer Gaming News podcast playlist? And then I got to add my tags, and then I'm just going to schedule. I'm going to schedule this for noon. People will get the 30-minute noti about this one. And boom. And boom, boom, boom. We do an any duration subscriber thing, so you guys can talk in my streams as long as you subscribe to the channel. Like, I don't make you sit around and wait. Some folks make you sit around and wait. I've contemplated doing that just because it would make people, like, actually watch longer. But I don't like doing that. That feels kind of arbitrary. I would rather you watch because you want to watch, not because, like, I made you wait a whole minute to talk. I think that's unnecessary. Unless we were getting, like, seriously trolled or something, or, like, spoilers or whatever. Holy moly, my Twitter. What is happening? What did I tweet? Did someone really say this? This Jim Ryan is desperate, crying, and will be fired. Yeah, people said it a bunch. People said it a bunch, brap. Second show. Second show. See you soon. Xbox, the future discussion. Am I too late for the recap? I'll give you a recap. All right, so if you're just tuning in, give me some likes, by the way. You guys have gone crazy with memberships and gifted memberships. Just like absolutely insane. But we only need 22 more likes for a like rollover. All right, here's the deal. A lot of people are seeing the headlines that Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game. I am arguing it's a Souls game in disguise. And what I mean is, beneath the surface, down baked into the crust of this game, is the design philosophy and the belief structure and the combat philosophy and ideas of FromSoftware. And Yamamura is the one who was the lead designer on Sekiro, is game director on Armored Core 6. And Yamamura did some interviews saying that the design philosophy and the things present in their games up to now will be present in Armored Core 6. So the point that I'm making is that it's not an Armored Core 6 is not a Souls game. It's not. Massive differences. You're a mech. You're using guns. It's sci-fi. It's fast. There's long range, close range. It's crazy, right? However, even though it's not a Souls game, it still is a Souls game, at least in spirit, at least baked into aspects of its crust. You will very much sense that when you play this. Many people, I'm worried, are going to see, oh, it's not a Souls game in those headlines, and they're going to think, oh, I'm going to buy that game. Looks like an amazing action, mech game. This game will likely be harder than some of the Souls games that you've played, all right? It's definitely going to be harder than Elden Ring from what I'm gathering from, Armored Core fans. So I'm just trying to get the word out. Like, if you see those headlines and you think, I'm going to play this game, it looks like a sort of dark, crazy Transformers game, brother, you're going to be so miserable if you buy it and that's your expectation, all right? So that's the purpose of today's discussion. Mike S says it's Souls-like, but there's no souls, and it's not Souls-like. To be Souls-like, you need to be more Souls-like. And this isn't Souls-like, but it kind of is. Got it? You got it! You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. Yeah, it's a Schrodinger's Souls game, okay? It's not a Souls game, but it is, okay? Oh, man. It's not the same genus as the Souls games, but it's the same family. Yeah, it has the same daddy, okay? It has the same daddy, right? Yeah. Have you ever met two people, and they have the same daddy, but they don't have the same mama? And every once in a while, you're like, yep, yeah, I know who your daddy is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying, all right? Is you're gonna know whose daddy is, whose Armored Core's dad is, all right? Armored Core is the granddaddy. Let's just get that out of the way. It is. Like, it came first. They both grew up on the same rough neighborhood, and they both don't know how to chill. East Coast says, wow. It's half souls. That's right. It's half souls. Not full souls. Never go full. DJ Rage with the $5 tip says Gundam Ring. Are you saying Mummy is a... Kind of like how Sekiro is counted as a Souls game despite having an entirely different feel. I actually think that's a pretty good example, yes. Like, we all will say that Sekiro is a Souls game, but it also isn't a Souls game. Like, it's a Souls game, right? You got your little spots where you meditate, and everybody respawns, and it's really, really hard, and it's melee-based, and you want to break your controller some of the time, and, you know, bosses have to be fought multiple times to beat them. Like, cool, yeah, all that's true. But then you're also like, yeah, it's also kind of not a Souls game. Can we get a Mari check, please? Yeah. Armored Core 6, you indicated that you are not a Souls game, and that turned out to be a lie. Armored Core is like, Coleman's head. Yo, Jim D with a brand new membership, still got that white badge and upgrades to VIP, taking us to 229 VIPs. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best there ever was, until somebody else does it. There are lots of folks here. Bump up the likes. Yeah, man. Yeah. This is actually, I think, the lightest turnout we've had all week. Like, we can't even get into the 400 people. I'm telling you, people see Souls games, they see Armored Core, and they're like, no thanks, bro. No thanks. I do. I think that's why I wanted to make this video. It's like, even if they decide to watch it later, my hope is that people that are like, they don't get down with Souls games, I really, really hope they watch, and at least watch the opening to just understand, like, well, this is what you're signing up for if you buy this game. Souls kinda-ish. For me, Sekiro's not a Souls game. No iframe roll signature. Right. Any word on the return of Dark Roast? It supposedly is going to ship any day now. Like, any day now, it's supposed to be shipping to me. So I should have it, you know, end of next week or middle of the week after. Here to support the channel, not the game. I appreciate that, Thrifty. Well, we were into the 4s, and then they bailed. They found out the game would be hard, and they bounced. They're like, yeah, he said the game's going to be hard. Let's get the frick out of here. Yeah, man, it's not a Souls game. Let's go see what this guy has to say. And I'm like, this game is going to absolutely knock your teeth in, right? What did I say? It's going to break your teeth and not tell you where the dentist is. Like, that's what this game's going to do to you, bro. Yo, what's good, feed? I'm not super interested in the Armored Core 6, but I enjoy variety and the change of pace. Well, I appreciate it, really. Look, y'all that show up no matter what I'm talking about, I love you. I really do. I do. Yesterday was amazing. We got to talk about Star Wars. We got to play Star Wars. I didn't want to do a follow-up stream today. It's getting shredded. It's getting shredded on PC. And I feel very bad for the developers because there's nothing worse than spending all that time on a game and then it gets pushed out too early, and then everyone's going to just trash it, and then you'll never recover. That game on PC will never recover. People are extremely angry, and they have every right to be angry, right? We waited a long time for it, and it got delayed, and bad. VIP train. Yo, Captain Toasty Buns. Captain Toasty Buns coming in with a VIP. Right now, 2,200 reviews on Steam, mostly negative, 35%. It's just getting murdered. It's getting murdered on Steam. The previous game is sitting at an 89. It's sitting at an 89, so it's just freaking awful. Just so bad. I did not have any major issues on the PS5 at all. It definitely needs another. It needs another 1 or 2 quality passes, but I wouldn't have given it the 35%. Oh my gosh. PC's been going through some rough times. It is not a good time to be a PC gamer, brother. That might be a show we do next week. Like, PC gaming, no longer the master race, bro. Y'all looking like chumps out here. You are looking like absolute chumps, buying into tech advances, buying into tech to upgrade your gear, and you just keep getting horrible, horrible versions of games. We are now at 230 VIPs. Thank you, Toasty, for bumping us. Just absolutely awful. Lucky it's only 35. 35 is just wow. People are saying it's bad on PS5 also. You can watch my gameplay and make up your own mind, Christian. I played it yesterday on the PS5 for an hour and a half. Maybe it gets worse. I don't know. I played last night on my television, and I definitely think something's wrong with the lighting. Like, it looks like the shading and the shadows aren't turned on. Maybe it's because I can't turn on. I don't know how to turn on HDR. I couldn't find it. Yo, Local. Man, Local finds me again after all this time and is just absolutely blowing the doors off. Another 5 gifted members, taking us to 115 members on the day. Stop buying games day one. It's really hard to blame anybody because look at the reviews. It was getting 9s virtually across the board. It was getting 9s across the board. I'm angry. I'm angry. It's another sequel. It's another game where I'm like, oh man, love the first game, and then the sequel comes out. It's like, what'd y'all do? If you're not getting a 16 gig VRAM GPU, you're getting screwed. Yo, Risic comes in and just puts a crown on the day. 125 over 125 perfectly nails the next milestone. So many people getting memberships today. You guys really want to make sure you are hanging out in our Discord. It's a members only Discord. You're going to get announcements. There's a bunch of stuff happening today and tomorrow. This is all of the member stuff happening, right? This afternoon is VIP, and then you have Jackbox game night tonight for all members and the Star Wars watch party tomorrow night. Make sure you're here for that. Yeah, ACG is basically saying it's not a PC thing. Again, I didn't have any issues on the PS5 that would make me not play it. I had a blast. I really did. Now, obviously, there's bias there because I love the game and I love Star Wars. Yo, Steven says, I love how you guys do this. You're like, screw your little even goal. 126, which means we got to bump up to the next milestone. Steven gifting one to Michael Iverson. Thank you so much for doing that, Steven. Yeah, here's the thing. The reviews did mention performance, Cujo, but you have to read the entire review to see that. How many people just see a tweet and the score, and they're like, sweet. Right? Sweet. Time to get it. Right? Local says, all new members who've been gifted, there's a Jackbox game night tonight. It's more fun with more people. That's right. When's the VIP? What's the VIP thing happening? Zubair came up with the idea. As long as we have 200 VIPs or more, we do an end of the week unfiltered stream. Preacher joins me. It's after my stream with 30 and Still Gaming, where we just kind of tell you about the week, about our strategy, about the business. It's very unfiltered. It's very sort of, the curtain comes down. And, we don't really hold back. It was really fun last week. So as long as you're a VIP, you can watch that. It's the only thing we do for VIPs only. Everything else we do is for every member. Whether it's game night, the Star Wars watch party tomorrow night, the member streams all throughout the week, you guys get to watch all that as members. It may not be PC's fault per se. That's almost all games have these quality issues that almost make it pointless to have a better PC. It's still something you have to deal with regardless of whose fault it is. Here, the thing is that the thing that frustrates me about Jedi Survivor is it honestly seems like they tried to do new stuff. And it's just not running well. It seems related to textures and lighting. Skill Up's video on Jedi Survivor shows a lot of bad issues. Yo, good morning, Colin. Regardless of what topic we are on, I'm here for the good conversations and the intellectual understanding of things. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. I appreciate that. Then you start spreading out the release dates. I still think that 2020 and the shadow of, working from home. Here, I'm just gonna, here you go. Take your purple badge and don't ever come back. Some guy just leaving hateful comments all of a sudden, and he's got a purple badge. Like, I don't ever want to see you in chat. I can't stand people like that. PC just isn't the main focus. You would see it in the optimization if it was. As soon as I saw the install size, I was kind of like worried. I was like, that seems so big. I'm telling you, it's a texture thing. It has something to do with the texture rendering, because there was like weird texture pop-in. You could kind of see it. There's just all kind of weird things happening in the game. Who was it? I don't even know. He's gone now. Koze something. Koze. Some kind of a last name like that. Like, why is the game 150 gig? Like, what happened? And then you're seeing all these weird things with textures. It's like, it's got to be something with that. It's like it's trying to do too much or something. I already removed several. Yeah, get him out of the servers. Just get him out of here. If you got a badge and you're going to come in and insult me in chats or comments, you're done. You don't get to stay here. You're not a part of this community. That's not what we do here. Disagree, debate, dialogue. You start taking swings at me, you're done. It's not even a second chance thing anymore. Like, we don't have time for children, right? We're trying to run a show, right? Not babysit insulting like little children. Yeah, guys, it has nothing to do with the day one patch. It's also 150 gigs on PS5. Yeah, I had to delete like 2 or 3 games just to play it. I had to delete a bunch of games just to install it. It's massive. 147 gig on PS5. As soon as I saw that it was 150 gig on the PS5, because typically install size on the PS5 is lower because of crack and compression, and I was like, wait, 150 gig? Even on the PS5? I was like, what the frick? Like, okay. Like, I'm telling you, man, they did something with the textures, with the lighting. I'm telling you, there's something going on, and that's going to be, it's not going to be an easy fix. Not going to be an easy fix. No way. There is absolutely no way they fix that quickly. Kick out all the kids who don't know how to be adults. Listen, there's a reason the talk show has been so enjoyable lately, and there's a reason that we can talk about anything. We can talk about Microsoft. We can talk about the CMA. Do you want to know why? We walked the clowns out the door. They don't get to come here and run their stupid circus anymore, right? They got to find somewhere else to talk. And everybody else on the sidelines that wanted to join in the circus, they're too scared to now. And good. Like, that's not, I don't want that. I don't want people like that here. We're trying to have dialogue. We're trying to have debates and discussions. Hey, Christina's going to bump up to VIP. She's like, all right. She's like, I'll take a peek at what's going on. I'll take a peek at what's going on. You guys are going to do this weekly debrief. Like playing Jedi Survivor with a 3070 here. About 20 minutes. I mean, you let us know how it goes. I'm the youngest one here, I guarantee. Don't start putting ages in chat, please. We don't need to know anybody's ages. Some upset parents this month. They're going to hit their ISP's cap. That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. They definitely need to spread out the releases for console and PC if they keep their optimization priorities the way they are. Interested in Matter? I know you probably don't care for Bungie anymore. No, I won't ever cover or support anything Bungie does. They're a toxic, horrible company. They're not worthy of my brand or my show. They're not. Beneath me and in the past, where they belong. It's literally terrible. Do not buy it, says Wheezy. Wheezy says, I played for 60 minutes. Yeah, SkillUp saying on his Series 40 gig, he couldn't even get a stable 60. They use ray tracing? I don't know. What I don't understand is it's in Unreal. Like, what suddenly happened? Did people just forget how to use that engine? Like, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense. The only thing that I can make sense of is they tried to do something new, or they tried to do something with the textures. And it's like, what's happening? 150 gig install? What's going on? Yo, Rumble coming back in with the membership. Thank you so much, Rumble 8. It was like, oh, there it is. There was like a thread hanging down. It was driving me crazy. Kept bumping my arm. My app reset and threw me into the next stream, and I was like, where did everyone go? Before I realized it doesn't start for a half an hour. Weezy says it's awfully optimized. Yeah, if you guys are hanging out waiting for the next show, thanks for being here. Make sure and smash the like button. Armored Core 6 discussion lasted about an hour, and that's pretty good. So we're just kind of, chilling, talking about a variety of things while we wait for the Xbox stream. We're talking about Jedi Survivor and how bad it runs, and people are pretty ticked. Let me give you guys a member count, since you guys did do a huge push today. Again, 126 members. There were some stretch goals that you may be close to. 3266. So you are officially 234 members from the stretch goal. 14 months have flown by. Love waking up to the show. Yo, what's good, Big Fesh? How are you? More than you are. Okay. What else is in August? August is pretty full. August has Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Armored Core, and I swear there's one that I'm forgetting. I swear that there's one I'm forgetting. When will the PlayStation Showcase be announced? Man, I have no idea, bro. I really don't. I really don't. I don't know what's going on. I would have thought for sure. Oh, yeah, the game I'm forgetting in August. I'm sorry. I'm saying August. I was thinking of May. You said August, and my brain thought May. I thought, oh, next month. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, sorry. Zelda's next month in May. I'm thinking of like, oh, games that are right around the corner. Yeah, August would be, let me see. Zelda's like, yeah, and Redfall are both in May. Atlas Fallen is in August. That's that one where you're like out in the sand. Didn't they delay that? I think. I'm not seeing anything else. I'm not seeing anything else in August. Baldur's Gate 3 comes to PlayStation 5 and PC. So maybe that's what you're thinking of? Yeah. Yeah. Time Traveler? Yeah, sorry. You're not supposed to admit you can time traveler. Is Lono living in July? No. I have never, and I cannot and do not currently possess the ability to time travel. I think that's... Is that what we're supposed to say? Yeah, that's what we're supposed to say whenever that comes up. I'm Mullet with a $10 super chat tip. Great show, great podcast. Makes my grind in GT7 all the much better. Thanks, Lono. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat tip. That's so generous. Thank you. Liza P. Oh, is Liza P in August? Are you sure about that? Or are you just saying I'm lying? We don't have a release date for Liza P. Yeah. Oh no, Liza P on Steam says August of this year. No date though. We have a month. That's why releases.com didn't have it. Capcom slowly becoming my buy the game and have minimal worries developer. The RE engine is a godsend. Liza P, Lies of Phil. You know, if I was the developer behind Lies of P, I think I'd be annoyed that the name of my game is now it's memed on in like 8 different ways. Like Liza P, and then, you know, Liza Phil, and then, oh man, I'm like, we should have really chose a different name. Oh my gosh. This conversation is kind of confusing me because I think my definition of a Souls game is different from yours, but if it was the same, I could definitely understand why it's a Souls game, but not. Yeah, I mean, the main point of today's stream, which I thought we were going to have a very different outcome. I thought the FromSoftware guys were going to pile in here and we were going to debate Armored Core, and 3 people that know anything about Armored Core showed up. Like Wheezy and like 2 other people that actually know about Armored Core with like actual detail were like trying to help. And everyone else is just like, I'm just here because I love Lono. I don't know what the frick anybody's talking about. everyone else is like, I'm just along for the ride, man. I'm having a good time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Oh, man. It works well with it being a Pinocchio game. Like, let me ask you a question. If they would have called it Lies of Pinocchio or The Lies of Pinocchio, I feel like people would have like maybe a little bit more interested. Like Lies of P? It's like, huh? It's a weird name. It is. Like, I think the game looks awesome, but it's just kind of a weird name. Never heard of Armored Core before those From streams. I have nothing to contribute but I'm loving it. No, and I love you guys for that. I love that like 390 people showed up to be like, I don't know what in the frick this game is, bro, but I'm here. And like 10 people showed up and they're like, all right, let's talk to him about this. You know, we know about FromSoftware games and we know about Armored Core. Like 390 people. Like, I don't know. I haven't a clue, Lono. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here, brother. I greatly appreciate that. That positivity and commitment means a lot. I think the next stream will probably have, will potentially have a stronger turnout because I think people are going to want to debate, you know, the future of Xbox maybe a little bit more than they want to debate Armored Core. I came for the beard. Thank you. Liza Phil has memes all over it. Oh, I know. Who's excited for the Elden Ring DLC? I'm kind of excited to jump back in and grab my my No Summons character. I loved playing as him. I really did. I had so much fun with him. You know, he was really, really fun. He was really, really fun to play with. I was using guard counter. I was using square off. I was breaking posture left and right. It's so fun to do that. If you don't know what it is, just watch the trailer and drool. Yeah, maybe I should have just left the trailer up looped and just kept talking. I try not to do that too often because I'm not a big fan of that. Like, then people click because they're like, oh, it's a gameplay stream, and then it's, you know, kind of not. I just come here today. It's my favorite mergers and acquisition show. Yeah, people are going to start coming in and like, yo, you going to talk about this other merger and acquisition over here? And I'm like, no. Do we think Horizon Forbidden West will get another DLC? Do we have any info? I don't think it will, no. I don't think so. I think they put a lot of eggs in that basket to do 2 things. Test what they can do for the next game, show off how awesome the PS5 is, and that's it. Those are the 2 things. I think they were testing like, hey, just how far can we kind of go with our next game since they confirmed the next game. I think they're going to start building the next game, and in building their next game, I think they'll push a lot of the graphical things that they push in this DLC. I don't know if you're going to get much higher than this DLC, though, right? Back to my comments about how we're close to the ceiling. We're close to the graphical fidelity ceiling. Like, yeah. We're very, very close. So the next stream is about Xbox's future. You're doing fictional content now. Oh, come on. Don't be mean, man. Don't be mean, bro. We don't need to be mean around here. No thanks. I love that people comment on a tweet. They're like, nah, bro, I'm good. No, I'm not interested, bro. I don't want to see what you have to say. And I'm always like, you know what's great? I don't care. I don't care. And you just helped out the stream. You just helped out the tweet. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, hate is engagement, bruh. Hate is engagement, bruh. Oh, that's good. That's good, creature. Reforge, unfiltered. An unfiltered look back at the week. All right, here we go. Xbox Activision deal. What did I name this? What is the future of Xbox? Okay. We're getting ready to change to that. I'll redirect you guys. CMA UK. Unfiltered Reforged Roast. Come discuss with me and 30 and still gaming. Tweet. All right, let me close out of Twitter. Make sure that the thumbnail is not jacked up. Okay, we're good. Sometimes YouTube is like mega weird. All right, I'm going to disconnect from the stage. Hello. Yo. Okay, I always just like to be able to hear myself. Okay, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to give old Mikey Mike a call. Get him on the phone here. And oh, hang on, I have to change the input in Discord because I was playing a video game yesterday. You there, Mike?
Yep.
Okay. Beautiful. Guys, I owe you, what is that? 25? Yeah, I owe you 25 members. I'll do it in the next stream. I'll have it up as well in the next stream so you guys can see it. I have you a little bit big in the crop, Mike. Hang on, let me fix this. Hang on.
Give me complexes.
That's perfect. Perfect. It would be impossible. I wouldn't be able to get 5 minutes into this show. I'd be like,
what do you have? Like just my eye? What's happening?
It's just a whole lot. Just a whole lot of Mike.
Watch out.
Nothing else.
I get shine off the front part here.
Yeah. I don't have this thing cropped narrowly. There we go. Okay. Like 5 minutes and I'd be just laughing.
Can you guys see me?
There it is. That's perfect. Just blink for your answers. Morse code stream.
A little close.
That is good. That is good. All right, give me a sentence. I want to see where you're hitting on audio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the podcast this Friday. We're discussing, I don't know what we're discussing, but we're discussing stuff.
The future of Xbox.
Well, thanks for coming. All right, see you guys later.
That's the show. Grand opening, grand close.
It's like that Family Guy episode. I'm a Mets fan, and there's a Family Guy episode that happened like like it's 20 years ago. They're like, it's opening season for baseball. Mets are up, first pitch, and it's a home run. That's the end of the season. And because the Mets suck so bad all the time.
Okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to do a redirect. It's also the featured video on the channel, okay? And go over, when we get over there, I need you to smash the like button. Go crazy on it, all right? Because I can't be doing that like every 30 minutes saying, hey, let's hit a like milestone, because it's a very different show vibe. So make sure we go over and smash the like button. You can gift members and do members if you guys want to go for the next membership milestone. Don't forget about all the membership stuff we're doing. We're going to do the VIP thing after this show, if you're looking forward to that. That is an unfiltered thing for VIPs only, so if you want to upgrade, you can do that. And then tonight is the Jackbox Party game night for all members. Everybody that got a membership or has one, or you can sign up for one. Make sure you use the Discord. The link is in the description of all my videos. And, okay. I'm going to turn the music down one tap. Because it's a little bit... Oh, I'm having a hard time here. There we go. Nope. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put a link in chat just in case redirect doesn't work, guys. Invite... No, no, thank you. Oh, my gosh. Okay.
What happened?
They're saying invite somebody to the show who just said something really dumb yesterday on Twitter. Okay. So click that link in chat. Head over to the new show. If you don't head over, I'll redirect you. If redirect fails... This is the featured video on the YouTube channel, so just go back to my channel and click on the most latest featured video, all right? I'm going to be quiet for like a few seconds, and then I'm going to start the show. Thanks so much for checking out a weekly segment that I do here on Reforge Gaming with my friend 30 and Still Gaming. Check him out, linked below at 30NSG. And we're going to be discussing the future of Xbox after the Xbox Activision deal got blocked by the CMA. There's a lot of question marks surrounding what's the future hold for Xbox. They're obviously going to appeal the CMA's decision. The deal's certainly not done yet, but it maybe is developing into a conversation about what are they going to do next. There was this Phil Spencer letter that he sent, Bobby Kodak's weighing in, and Brad Smith, and they're insulting the government and the regulators. I don't know if that's a great strategy, but they're doing it. And
it's a bold move, Cotton. It's a bold move.
It is. I'm going to end the previous stream about Armored Core and bring everybody over with a redirect.